Hello and welcome to the 3pixel channel. My name is Jacob and this is AI the Somnium files. Last time we left off, we finished this timeline, and this unlocked for us. So let's begin.
Have you settled down? The scene is being inspected without you. This time the body didn't disappear. However, you lost consciousness. I didn't expect you to faint. Seeing that corpse must have been incredibly shocking. I did not predict you to be the fainting type. I suppose humans are unpredictable. Now that you're back, let's get back to business. You are conscious, are you not? Are you at a loss for words? Date, don't let negative thoughts consume you. Thinking that Iris died because of me. If I never took her to Ota's, this wouldn't have happened. If you truly believe that, then your brain is completely rotten. Or perhaps when you saw the corpse, your head became filled with images of blooming yellow dandelions.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, right,
you're talking
exactly.
now.
It's the reference there.
If you consider the situation logically, even an elementary school student would understand.
Huh?
Fine. Allow me to pluck some of those dandelions from your mind. I will ask 3 questions.
What are you referencing with the dandelions, Iva?
First question. The cold storage warehouse was not in regular operation. But even so, the AC was on, and a minus 58-degree temperature was maintained. Why is that?
Well, probably to hide body. The red barrier line wrapped around the scene. The dark blue ocean spreads out before me. Eva is sitting to my left.
To preserve something.
Yes. Let us move on to the next question. Second question. There was something strange about the corpse. Do you remember what that was? That is a unique factor. But there was something else, something more peculiar.
Iris's body was completely frozen. The temperature read negative 58. With Iris's weight... Just wondering, but how much do you weigh?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady that?
105 pounds.
I see. 105, huh? It should have taken about 18 hours to freeze solid. But we were...
Wait a moment. Before you draw your conclusion, allow me to ask my final question. Question 3. 2 days ago, Sunday night, you found a dead body in the cold storage warehouse. But afterward, you visited the Sagan household and discovered that Iris was in fact still alive. Why?
You mean?
You've got it.
I bolted into the warehouse like I was shot out of a gun.
The right eye has been forcibly removed.
It was the left eye for Shoko.
Right, Shoka is the only one dead in this timeline. The corpse's right eye has been removed.
The corpse is completely frozen. Getting a more thorough look would require removing the cloth. However, we would not want to be disrespectful. You can use a certain vision mode instead.
Vision mode.
I don't believe it.
The stomach is swollen slightly. She appears to have been pregnant.
How?
Do not worry. The uterus does not contain a fetus.
You mean after she was killed?
No, the fetus was not present in her body when she was killed. She must have been killed after giving birth. The distended stomach does not immediately shrink after birth. The expanded uterus takes some time to return to its normal size. This evidence makes one thing perfectly obvious.
This corpse isn't Iris. It's someone else.
Which means...
Iris is still alive.
Not necessarily. She could be alive. We haven't confirmed that yet. Multiple stab wounds with a single-edged, sharp object to the victim's back. Judging by the size and shape of the marks, the weapon was most likely a kitchen knife. This matches what you said on Sunday.
So this is the body I saw then. Is there an estimated time of death?
Impossible to determine. This body has been completely frozen for at least 10 years.
Yeah, impossible to determine.
10 years? She was killed more than 10 years ago?
Exactly.
Iba, who is this?
Unknown.
But it's definitely not Iris. Again though. Probably a reference to
Her
something.
identity is unknown. Her killer is also unknown. But there is one likely suspect.
Who?
Let's consider the clues. The scene. Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. Sunday night, we saw So here. And there is something else about So Sejima. We witnessed someone similar to Iris being stabbed repeatedly in So's Somnium.
But it wasn't Iris. It was this woman.
That is highly likely.
What we saw was So's memory from more than 10 years ago.
I believe that is the case.
Renju and So?
But we still do not know where Renju is.
That means that we need to talk to...
So Sejima.
A pitiful corpse. Just looking at her makes my Just hurt. Let's go talk to So then. Izuki and Ota kept searching for Iris, but unfortunately they didn't turn up anything. Iris' whereabouts are still unknown. I'm worried about her, but without any leads, we'd just be looking for her blindly. I should focus on the investigation for now. It will eventually lead me to Iris, sure of it. With that in mind, I headed to So's mansion.
I thought I told you never to show your face here again.
Three. Topiary. Garden lantern. There's a small island in the center of the pond. Garden stones. The Shijima residence. There's an arch-shaped stone bridge over the pond. So is feeding the koi in the pond as usual.
I didn't come here for Shoko today. I didn't come here for Iris either. Instead, I'm here for a girl who looks like Iris. Did you kill her?
Date, look.
I knew it. You killed her, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've had enough of your shit, Congressman! You wanted to check on the body of the girl you killed. That's why you were at the cold storage warehouse 2 days ago. Where is Renju Okiura? You know where he is, don't you? You were at an Okiura fishery warehouse for a reason. There's definitely a connection between you two. And that's not all. Number 89 called your secretary. The same number 89 that Renju escaped with. Now tell me, where is Renju?
Suddenly, a gang of bodyguards stormed out of the mansion. In an instant, they surrounded me.
We'd like to ask you to please leave.
Damn it, So!
There's nothing we can do. We did arrive without a warrant. We were technically trespassing. If he had called the police, we would be in a predicament. We would have been detained immediately. Who would look after Iris then? Do you intend to leave your responsibility with Mizuki and Ota?
Ah!
Calm down, Date. We still have our lead.
Lead?
Before I explain, we need to discuss the corpse in the cold storage warehouse. Let's give her a name. Because she is frozen solid, we could call her All Ice or Alice. What do you think? Alice and
It
Iris.
is disturbing,
I believe
but
it fits
sure.
nicely.
Alright, Alice. What about her?
Someone might be able to identify her.
Who?
Allow me to ask you 3 questions.
Again with this?
First question. You have seen this corpse more than twice. 3 times, in fact. When was the first time?
the rearview mirror. You can see the scenery through the rearview mirror. The glove box, central console, dashboard, steering wheel, the gear shift, highway sitting in the passenger seat. Oh, I'm supposed to remember which day it was. It was Mizuki's Somnium under the Ferris wheel. Three days ago?
3 days ago. Saturday night when I synced at Abyss.
Yes, in the Somnium world, we saw the frozen corpse of a girl. Question 2. Who is the girl?
Now I know. That girl was probably Alice.
Most likely, yes. So we have technically known Alice for 3 days. One last thing. The final question. In which Somnium did we see Alice?
My roommate, Mizuki Okiura.
Exactly. You mentioned something about Mizuki's Somnium being some kind of prophecy. But prophecies are nonsense. Dreams are not made of the future. They are made from the past. Therefore...
Mizuki has seen Alice before.
there is no other explanation.
Aiba, where is Mizuki now?
Where we went with Iris yesterday, the Kume Shrine.
The shrine? Why would she be there?
Unknown. She is supposed to be looking for Iris.
Okay, let's go.
Date,
Did you find Iris?
if I did, I would have told you already.
Right.
You wash your hands and face here. 3. Lantern. Guardian dog. The offering box. The sacred straw rope. Into shrine, it looks rather solemn. The rope hanging from the bell. Pretty flowers are blooming. A stone monument. Tsuki is standing up.
I think he's searching Akihabara right now. Last time he checked in, he said he didn't have anything.
I think Iris is with Renju.
With Daddy?
Yeah. Her note mentioned her most trusted person. That's probably Renju.
Yeah. I remember that mermaid girl saying something like that.
He was looking for Iris.
Does that mean that Daddy is the one who called for Iris?
It could be. So I need to know where he is.
But I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Iris used to like this shrine. She told me about all her memories here. We used to come here all the time. You know those steps in the front? We would sit there together and talk about things. Like what gluten-free means, and eyelash extensions, and aerial yoga. And we would talk about all our problems together. Sometimes we would talk late into the night. So I thought that maybe she'd be here. But it looks like I was wrong.
Mizuki, I have something very important to ask you.
I told Mizuki about the frozen corpse we called Alice.
You've seen her before, haven't you? 3 days ago, I saw her in your Somnium. The body of a girl who looks like Iris, Alice. Your dreams are built from your memories. So that corpse... Mizuki, please, answer me. Iris's life is at stake.
Huh? What do you mean?
I told Mizuki everything. About Renju ran off with the assassin 89. How 89 is connected to So Sejima. And the Shijima is linked to LS murder.
I need to know everything about Alice. If I find out who she is, I might be able to solve the mystery of Renju and number 89. And that might lead me to Iris.
Mizuki looked down at her feet quietly. I could see a no. I could see agony in her face. This silence lingered. Finally, she steeled herself, lifted her head, and spoke.
Okay, I'll tell you about Alice. It was about a month ago. I saw my daddy crying in the president's office at Lemniscape. I was peeking through a crack in the door so he didn't see me. Daddy got up, then got into his car and drove away. I had never seen him like that before. I was curious, so I followed him in a taxi. That led me to the cold storage warehouse. He got out of his car and went inside. I followed right behind him, quietly. Daddy was standing next to the forklift in the back. I hid behind a shelf. I watched Daddy open the hood of the forklift, and then, after a little bit, he left. I wanted to know what he was looking at. I went over to the forklift and I looked under the hood myself. And then...
You saw Alice's dead body.
But at the time, I thought it was Iris. What was I supposed to do? Daddy would have been in trouble.
So you kept quiet this whole time?
Yeah. What do you mean? I couldn't just ask. It would have changed everything. I thought that as long as I stayed quiet, everything would be okay. I didn't see a dead body. I wasn't even at the warehouse. I repeated that to myself over and over and tried to forget the whole thing.
Repressed memories are often the subject of somnia.
That's why Alice showed up during the sync.
The corpse looked exactly like Iris. I couldn't believe she was dead. I just couldn't. So I went to Iris's house.
Huh? What's wrong, Mizuki?
Iris was alive. I thought I was going crazy or dreaming. I tried to convince myself that it was just a hallucination. I actually met with one of the higher-ups at Daddy's company last night, before I went to Matsushita Diner.
Why?
Because you asked about the cold storage. I was curious. I asked around some, and I found out that Daddy was managing managing the warehouse before I was born. After my grandpa died, Daddy took over. In exchange for managing the warehouse, he gave ownership of the company to someone else. I guess he didn't want to let this place go. Or maybe he couldn't let it go. That's more accurate, I think. But I understand why. Inside that warehouse was...
Alice.
On paper, Daddy has nothing to do with Okiura Fishery. Daddy was still managing the warehouse. And he was the only one allowed in there, too. That was part of the agreement when he gave up the company. And the whole thing had to be a secret. He really stressed that point.
Hey, Mizuki. How long was he managing the warehouse?
For 18 years. That's what the man told me.
18 years? From that long ago?
Yes.
Iba, I need an emergency search. Missing persons from 18 years ago.
Understood.
Huh?
Date, I found her. The girl who looks like Iris.
What's her name?
Manaka Iwai, 19 years old at the time of her disappearance. A graduate of Eitoku High School.
What?
Renju was my classmate at Eitoku High. We've known each other for 20 years now. When I was young, I lost someone very important to me. Manaka Iwai, my best friend. One of the only friends I had.
Alice's Manaka. Hitomi's friend who went to the same school as her and Renju. But why? Manaka's body was found just now. But even back then, Hitomi knew. She knew that Manaka was already dead. Iba, where is Hitomi right now?
At headquarters for questioning. MPD still believes that the body they discovered was Iris.
Got it. Contact boss. Have them bring Hitomi to Abyss.
Roger that.
Well done. This is getting interesting.
You're awfully calm. You saw the corpse of your daughter today. You were called into the station to confirm her identity. And yet here you are, cool as a cucumber, even though you lost your precious daughter. Shall I guess why?
Her name is Iwai Manaka. She has been missing for 18 years. She was 19 years old at the time she went missing. Manaka, Hitomi Sagan, and Renju Okiura all attended Eitoku High School. Manaka's body was found completely frozen solid. Her right eye was missing. Her body shows multiple stab wounds from an edged weapon to the back of the torso. The cause of death was those stab wounds. The murder weapon was most likely a kitchen knife. She was also pregnant until just before her time of death. Manaka's corpse was hidden under the hood of a forklift in Okiura Fishery cold storage warehouse. This warehouse has been under Renju's management for 18 years. Mizuki witnessed Renju checking on the corpse. This of course means that Renju knew about Manaka. Because Manaka's corpse is completely frozen, it is difficult to determine her time of death. However, her appearance appears to be unchanged from when she went missing 18 years ago. Thus, it is extremely likely she was killed around that time.
So her baby would be...
Just turning 18.
Iris.
Because that body isn't Iris. And you know it.
Are you serious?
Yes. Her name is Manaka Iwai. She was killed when she was 19. She went to the same high school as you, and she was your best friend. Isn't that right? Nothing to say for yourself? Hiding something? Maybe you killed her with Renju.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, now you're talking. But we know Renju committed a crime. Illegally disposing of a body. And we can prove it. The cold storage warehouse where the body was found. It's been managed by Renju Okiura for almost 2 decades now. And witness testimony proves that he knew about the corpse there. And if I'm not mistaken, you knew about the corpse too, Hitomi. You and Renju have been close since high school. It's not too much of a stretch to think that he told you about the body. And I remember you telling me once.
When I was young, I lost someone very important to me. Manaka Iwai, my best friend. One of the only friends I had.
He's speaking here as well. It's not there.
How did you know that she was dead?
I didn't.
Don't play dumb. I know you're hiding something. You know what happened 18 years ago. And you knew she was pregnant. You were her best friend. Of course you would have known. Tell me. Tell me everything!
Date, she's not going to talk. Sync with her.